Testing! Testing! 1, 2, 3! Looks like the audio is working. Okay. Are we streaming though? Yes, and... yes. Good. There we go. We are playing ourselves some 70s. There we go. Jake Tunes, how you doing? Sorry. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will attempt to enjoy my stream. Brett, how you doing? There have been some stuff and things changed about the server. First off, we took biome progression off, which immediately made the game like 1,000 times better. So if you haven't tried that yet, I recommend. Anyway, I got my character moved into the desert, into a house, in between streams, because the desert is just my... I don't know. It's my favorite area. I'm not even sure why. I don't live in the desert. I just like the way the desert looks, which is weird because it's kind of empty. I don't know. I don't know. It's just the place I like being. Brett, do you ever get your keyboard situation fixed? Did your new keyboard come in? I haven't even got Discord open. Here we go. Waiting. We're waiting. Click on it! There we go.
I always come back.
Okay! New car. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. Employee retention has arrived. Nice. Okay, it seems like the notifications are all working. I wanted to check on that because I think there was one time last week that it all messed up. But we were also having a lot of weirdness last week. So, it's fine. Just for now. There we go. Your blessing lives in your plotlings with violence. Nice. You got your keyboard, you got the clackety-clack mechanical one now, you got the upgrade. Okay, alright. You got the coffee? I do not have any coffee. I drank...
I'm burning now! Take it easy. Hellfire is burning me alive!
Thank you, Richie. What was it, Monday? It might have been Monday. I had like 4 cups of coffee. So, I didn't just like make a cup of coffee and casually drink it, you know. I drank the entire pot of coffee. It is not very often that I get a chance to make coffee when it's warm outside. Oh no, these things are still messed up. It's not very often that I get a chance to drink that stuff. Because when it gets hot, I'm not gonna drink it, you know? But it cooled off by like 15 degrees the last couple of days. I have got a cat hair on my nose, I can feel it. Hold on, let's go take care of him before he does something stupid! Don't do it! There. Oh, it's up there near my water purifiers. Hang on, wait. Not water purifiers, dew collectors! It's just being weird is what it's doing. Totally normal? Okay. Gonna join in soon? Alrighty. Some guy, how ya doing? How's your stuff? How's your things? I feel like I want to shoot that guy away before he does something dumb. I don't like it lurking around. Oh my gosh, this is such a waste of ammo. If I could... There we go! I was supposed to say, if I could tag it a little bit, it'll come over here instead of just, you know, like flying around me, but no! Okay. So, this is the base, this is the kitchen. No, it's not the bathroom, what do you mean? We'll put these guys back up there. And this is Richie's room. This is where I've got a whole bunch of containers. And then my room. I kind of want to, you know, like a door or something here so I can walk outside instead of having to go up. Okay, so where did we... Please don't start storming right now. That would be a bad time for a storm. I thought I heard a storm. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Oh, captions are off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. There we go, captions are activated. Leaving a like and some love. Thank you, Teddy. Now you're back again. Welcome. So how's everybody's week been? Anything cool happen? Okay, let's go downstairs and start working towards some missions. I think we got a couple of missions done. Did I pick up a mission? I'm pretty sure this is my mission. Nobody else is on right now, so I can go do that mission. Nope, 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 nope. That is an old mission from the old trader. I just picked up and left that trader with all of his BS. Well, her BS in this case. I left. Came here. What cool thing are we building right now? Right now I'm just trying to get my base taken care of. I haven't actually even started working on a horde base. We did fight a horde, but we went to a friend's base and that friend's base got completely annihilated because sometimes zombies do dumb things. I really feel like their rage mode is active longer. I'm not really sure. I have no proof of this. I don't know that anybody's put out information on whether or not it has actually changed from the last version, but I feel like it has. or the range has gone up, or something about it has changed to where it's even worse. They basically have no intention of coming to fight you, they just want to annihilate the beasts. Zombies that are not interested in frames, they're interested in blocks.
You're just in time to check out our specials.
They like big blocks and they cannot lie. I wish like a job. Clear red church
Need some money?
residents.
You must have
Okay.
more guts than you can hang on your fence.
Got some sexy thunderstorms going on, otherwise busy at work during the day, playing 7 days with wifey at night. Pretty good. How are you guys? We have gotten some excellent storms. As a matter of fact, yesterday, before I could make dinner, after I did all my recording, I had to go up there and prop up every single one of my roselle plants, because I don't know what happened exactly during that storm, because it also happened to my Jerusalem artichokes. It was almost like a down pressure happened in my garden. Everything was knocked over, which I know that's not actually what happened. It's just that when I water my garden, I use drip irrigation now, which means it only puts water right at the base of the plants, and if the plants don't detect water further out, there's a bit of an issue with them not reaching out further, so all of the roots stay condensed around the root ball, meaning when the storm happened and drenched the entire garden, they had nothing really to hold on to, no big root system. And everything just fell over. Everything fell over. All of the tall things fell over. So I had to strap them up and hopefully they'll stay strapped up. I have no idea if we're gonna get more rain. I'm kind of hoping we do, because I'm doing an experiment with some cucumbers. I took a cucumber plant out that was ready to go out in the garden, but it was raining and I was like, this is not a good time. But I had two, so I took one out and it's looking great. So I went out there and threw the other one in the garden and the sun came out, so it's probably going to die. It's not acclimated yet. I was just hoping the stormy day would help it to have a chance to acclimate. So we'll see what happens. Kinda sucks. And the temperature's gonna go right back up. No, 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 no. Keep that to yourself. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'll leave the bugs. Okay. The storms are totally not your fault? Uh-huh. Trying out some new theories? Exactly. Exactly. Every time you're doing a garden, it is all about doing experimentation with your garden to find out what does and does not work. Every single time. Old Shell, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you.
Here.
Dot damage may still work. What is dot damage? I understand the 20 blocks high. If they're over... What was it last version? It was 11 blocks? I think it was over 11 blocks. If you didn't want them to rage whenever they hit the ground or whatever, it needs to be 11 blocks away from where your location is at, which is why people keep building these skyscraper POI style horde bases. Can I make a germination type environment for your growing? A germination style? I mean, like taking seeds outside and putting them in the ground? I mean, yeah, I can. I have. These particular ones, I was starting a secondary crop of cucumbers. I started those inside because I had to... What's the best way to describe this? Whenever our hot gets hot, basically, when we get up to 90 degrees or something like that, seeds will not germinate outside anyway. Seeds have a cozy zone that they germinate in, and each plant's cozy zone is in a particular area. If you're doing fall planting, the cozy zone for those seeds to germinate is probably in the 70s. Right now, it's in the... It was in the 98s range, or something like that. And cucumbers like it between 75 and 80-ish to germinate properly. So I could put the seeds in the ground, but the seeds would probably just either mildew up and die, or they would take a long time to germinate. And I can control the temperature in here a little bit better than I can control the temperatures outside. So it was easier to get them to germinate inside. It only takes like 3 days for them to germinate, and probably about 2 weeks for them to get big enough to go outside. So, I mean, technically I could start another thing of cucumbers and have it out in plenty enough time to get at least one harvest before fall sets in. That's really it. I grew a bunch of cucumbers, actually made my own pickles this year. The problem is I've already eaten 3 jars of pickles. I like pickles. So I was hoping to get another batch of cucumbers in. Now that hopefully the cucumber worm is gone. I'm not really sure if it's 100% gone, but I hope it is. They need to bring back pre-alpha 18 zombies feralness. How so? I say that because I started playing 7 days at at the very tail end of alpha 17 and 18, so I don't know what the difference is. Maybe you could use the sun to generate condensation in a contained space. Yeah, you could. You could. I mean, but the entire South is nothing but a big condensation factory. We have very moist summers. We have humidity all the time. Even if it hasn't rained in a month, there is still like walk outside and breathe in fluid oxygen, basically, through the entire summer. It doesn't matter how often it rains. That's just the normal way it is because we get so much rain during the springtime and during the fall, it kind of makes up for it. So we had plenty of moisture, ambient moisture, just not enough moisture in the ground, which the ants have loved and taken over. But what I could do is put a tent over that particular cucumber. I mean, yeah, if you're talking about putting condensation on something to protect the cucumber could work. Like if I put I don't know if the magnification would cause problems before enough evaporates to cause a layer of fog over whatever it is that I used, but if I used a dish of some sort, there you are. If I used a dish or something like that to put it over the top of the plant and there's enough heat to generate enough condensation inside of the container to put a fog layer over the top of it, it would help the cucumber a little bit better. The problem is I don't know which is going to come first, the chicken or the egg on that one. Is the heat going to magnify on it, or is the condensation going to happen first? If it was morning time, I would say I could go ahead and do it and the condensation would definitely happen. But right now, sun's already out. There's condensation everywhere. I could probably just put some sort of shade something or another over the top of it and it would work. I have some netting or something like that I could probably fix over the top of it. Do I splice chilies with cucumbers? I've not actually tried that. They take the path of least resistance. Yeah, they did that in 18 and 19. There's the path of least resistance, except if there was a door involved. They would always go towards the door. At least in... was it 20? Version 20, maybe? Where they path towards doors, and then it was the path of least resistance. Now their path of least resistance doesn't even make sense anymore because they're trying to take out 1-block gaps. Instead of preferring places where they could get through a 2-block gap, like a zombie probably would, it's taking out 1 block because it knows it can fit through there, which just looks weird. Alpha 15 and 16 was just destroy everything. I don't know if I like the destroy everything all the time, no matter what type of situation, but if they're doing the path of least resistance, it kind of makes sense only because there's 2 ways of thinking this. If you are on the other side of something, making noise in a zombie apocalypse, obviously the zombie is going to attempt to find its way to you. But if a zombie sees an open path towards the sound of the noise, it could potentially go towards that pathing. The issue is whenever you turn a zombie into a construction worker and it actually dictates how the zombie moves according to the health of the block or the hit points of the block, then it becomes a little less reliable and a lot less immersive. So I see what you're saying there. Don't slap it again. Bad. Job done. Time for games. Nice. This is the one where they come out of the roof, right? I thought so. Whoop. Somebody tied your shoes together or forgot to tie your shoes in general. I don't know which one would happen right there, but that was funny. Ow! Ow! Dude, slow down! No speeding in the hallway. Jeez. Another pistol. So, his shoes weren't tied together. Apparently just one of them was untied and he tripped over his laces. How do you like being replaced? He doesn't like it, guys. I think he's holding it in. He's just not telling us how upset he is. Hi! Everybody come out here, please. I can walk barefoot and still trip? Oh, that's easy to do. You just trip over your own toes. The uneven ground, the random piece of paper, air, gravity. I've done that before. Gravity just really likes me. I don't like the fact that I can't have pickles as I have a vinegar allergy. Have you tried fermented pickles? Can you do fermented pickles? Basically I'm not sure if the ferment creates a vinegar-like situation. It might. I'm not sure if that counts. What exactly is it about vinegar that your body doesn't like? Is it like the fermentation process itself? Like, can you still drink alcohol? Because vinegar is a ferment. You can ferment something and it can either turn into vinegar or it can turn into an alcohol when you ferment. So is that the problem? It's the actual fermentation thing? I know that there's a lot of people who take medicines that make it where they can't have things that are fermented. Hello! Housekeeping! Walk around, my dude! What are you doing? I've got a step up in my house. Well, I've got a couple of step ups in my house and step downs in my house. Because a meth head built my house. But, there was one time I was so damn hungry. I had been recording for hours. This is back when I was doing RimWorld, and RimWorld recordings can take a long time. I was trying to do 3 recordings per week, and each recording was taking a few hours because there are some days just nothing happens in that game, and each day is like 30 minutes or so. So in order to get footage that was usable, I had to record for longer periods of time. And I was so hungry. I mean, I was like famished. We ordered pizza, and I ran in here to grab the pizza, and then was going to walk it back in here so I could continue editing while I was eating, and completely missed the step. And in the process of falling, I opted, instead of catching myself, I saved the pizza. Rather than using my hands to catch myself, I just steadied the pizza. And I did, in fact, save the pizza. It was fine when I landed. My body wasn't, but my pizza was safe. Hello, dude. The sacrifices we make. Nope. 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 Oh, it's a book. I love books in the apocalypse. That's what we need to do, guys. Go ahead and start your library, because that's going to be what's going to be worth the most amount of money come the apocalypse. Are you gonna do the weird? He's gonna do the weird. Okay. I'll wait. I was supposed to take a foot out from underneath you. It's just an impulse I had. You're right. You're right. Should have more impulse control than that. Don't do it! No! Stamina! Oh no. I was having a good time playing with zombies and you had to come over here and give me an infection and break my arm. Either that or he did it. I don't know. Somebody did it. Somebody's at fault here. It's not my fault. I play games good. I don't know. I can drink alcohol, but I don't drink much. It might be the process. I never understood it, honestly.
Uninstall.
Thank you, Nikar. Gotta save the pizza. Yes, exactly. Exactly. There's been a couple of times I have flat out fallen. What was I doing? I gotten up and walked away from the PC or something like that, and as I was walking across the room, I didn't realize I had left the big plug-in to the AC. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, the big 3-prong plug-in. And somehow or another I managed to leave it prong up. And I full-fledged, flat-footed, no shoe on, stepped on it. Needless to say, I jerked my foot up and landed on the ground. Hard. I pay attention to where I leave that damn thing now. That crap hurt. I put a bruise all across my side because I didn't want that thing going through my foot. Okay, so maybe we do this. Oh, I remember this basement. Okay, okay. Book! What? Got a speedy boy, got a speedy boy, he was sliding, he was skating! Stop, dude! Okay, well, let's go up here. Ugh. Where did Frank go? What did you do to Frank? Oh, is he dead? You're breaking my immersion, my man. I'm gonna have to take you out. Can we get a recast on the hazmat, dude? Recast on the hazmat. Everybody take it from 1, please. Take it back from 1. Places, places. We're gonna reshoot that one. Some dude didn't read his script. My god. Hi. Gamer, blame the cats. Yes, that they have resulted in a few stumbles and stuff like that, especially when they do the I'm gonna walk around your feet thing when you first wake up in the morning. Like, that's not dangerous enough as it is. I've never understood a cat's need to do that. I understand that it's like, it's first thing in the morning, I need you to come over here and feed me, or at the very least come over here and stare at my bowl so that I know that there's food in it. Because sometimes there's already food in it, and they just want you to go look at the bowl to verify that there's food in it so they can eat it. I don't understand what's going on at those points. But whenever they do that first thing in the morning, it's like they're asking for badness to happen. I got sleep in my eyeballs. I barely opened them. I have to put eye drops in my eyes to open my eyes fully in the morning. And you're just walking around my feet doing the dumb. More than one tail has been stepped on because of that situation. You never really understood it? Yeah, that's weird because in a lot of... God almighty, Richie, you just scared the hell out of me. Sorry for poking you with my pickaxe. Anyway, I have a bit of a peanut allergy, and it's most nuts or whatever, and I was very determined to find out why I suddenly developed this sort of allergy, what it was that was causing the problem. And come to find out, it's actually not necessarily the peanuts themselves, it's the fact that okay, quick story here. Whenever you're eating protein, protein is like a string of amino acids that make up the full protein that your body can use. Some things don't have a full protein in it, like beans don't have a full protein, peanuts don't have a full protein. Soy, as far as I know, is a complete protein. It's an odd one. But whenever you eat those, typically you have to pair them with something else in order for it to have the full amino acid to create the protein your body can use, which is the reason why people typically pair like beans and rice or peanut butter and bread, because those paired together make a full protein that your body can use. Now the issue is in peanuts, there is an overabundance of a particular type of amino acid, and if there's not enough bread to peanut ratio to form a full amino acid, my body reacts. It took a long time and a lot of research to figure this out. So technically I can have peanuts, but it would be like taking a piece of bread and putting like this much peanut butter in it and eat all of the bread. So for me, it's just really not worth it. Uh-oh. Ah, pockets. That's already got one. And then rogue boots, safe fall distance, or crit. Fall distance actually sounds pretty good, especially when you guys find out what we are going to do for the end of the server. But we're not close to the end of the server, so hey! Another Speedy Frank. Just took out the door. Okay. Okay, return to the trader. Now, was the Alpha 1516 variant, was that one able to dig? Because I think their ability to dig should never have been implemented. People want to build underneath the base and not deal with the— build underground and not deal with the horde. It is absolutely immersive to do bunkers for a zombie apocalypse. And for zombies to simply not be able to get to them.
You've been busier than a cat on a hot tin roof. Good job.
Thanks. I will take pipe bombs. Pipe bombs don't do a whole lot of damage. I guess I'll take the gunpowder.
Looking to motor around?
Not doing batons. I'm not doing those. He doesn't want to buy that, guys. I don't know why. He just doesn't want it. You want this dye that does nothing? Bike chassis. What have we got? Actually, a tarp? Yeah. A tarp would be a good idea. Apparently he really does not want my sledgehammer. How rude.
Tell
Okay.
your friends about me. Trader Bob.
Oh, good grief. No, there was not a sign there, guys. Liz closing doors behind her. Apparently I was called out because it wasn't immersive that I wasn't closing them. I don't think it's not immersive, or I don't think it's immersive that I can't leave the door open to one particular traitor and get him killed. Keep trying. They don't want to eat him. It's almost like he has a foul flavor. Don't do it. I saw what you were trying to do. It's like there's a foot there, and it's just like, let me fall down. No, don't do that. Don't fall down. Don't do the dumb. I mean, yeah, I guess that could be saved, or I could just scrap it. Scrap it? 225? Eh. Tools. Drop that. That in there. Do I continue to carry this ammo? I never use it. I never use it. It's just one more thing taking up room in my pocket. Just like this extra stack of bandages, which is not really necessary unless you're going out to do the dumb, and I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of dumb today. Dumb does occasionally happen, but I'm not intending to go out and do that, you know? Okay, while we sit here and do these, I'm going to run to the restroom really quick. I shall be right back. Question. Has Capo gotten access to his account back yet? Has anybody heard? Welcome to the chair stream. That chair looking at you sideways? Are you flirting with my chair again? I feel like you guys are flirting with my chair again. Last thing I saw, YouTube had gotten in touch with him, had DM'd him. I don't know if he actually got access back. Let's eat. Nothing to see here. I know better. Okay, is that gonna be good? I think so, yeah. Okie dokie. We are, for the most part, healed, which is awesome. Now, let's go get ourselves a mission. Cap had a video yesterday, if not mistaken. Okay, well that's good. That means he got it back. If I recall all of the information I've seen so far, somehow or another that group got access to his account, even though it didn't do the second step verification to his phone or whatever it was the second step verification thing was, and it still let him in. It didn't verify. What's the point in having the two-step verification if it does not verify? He usually does Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I would assume that he would probably put up a video just as soon as he got his access to his account back, letting people know.
They say the early bird gets the worm. I say build a trap and sleep in.
Good
if
point.
you need some work, well, that's better than a sharp stick in the eye.
Sadly, we don't have traps. Having traps would be awesome! There we go. Matthew, how you doing? Welcome. I do apologize, I was in the restroom whenever you showed up. But welcome to the stream. I was running quite a bit late today. I was thinking I was gonna have to go outside and feed the chickens because they have only had one access to food. I typically give them a few different accesses to food. So I don't want them arguing over the food container. But it's been rainy for the last 3 days, really. And, so I didn't put any food out for them in the usual places. I only gave them the food inside their food container because it could keep it dry. And, of course, yeah, they were out of food. I needed to feed them. But all of their water was disgusting, so I had to go through and wash all of their water stuff, and the whole time I'm sitting there trying to water them, they're drinking the water off the ground and looking at me sideways. And I keep saying, standards, ladies, standards, and they just keep drinking out of the water off the ground, and it's gross, and they do it anyway. But I had to redo all of their water, and it was a big mess. Big, big mess. So, what I was getting at was I took a lot longer for me to get myself ready for the stream than usual, and I had to like chug some pizzas right before the stream. here. There we go. Hey, got all the chair prawn over here whilst you were gone, chair prawn? Y'all were selling chair prawn while I'm gone? Dude. Gotta wonder how something that dumb ever survived the wild. That is true. Their ability to hide, which they don't do a great job of either. But it has to be how that species survived. They are some of the silliest creatures I have ever known. Nikar was flirting hard with your chair. Nikar? What's gonna happen when I have to change out chairs? Am I gonna have to worry about there being hard feelings? Wakey, wakey back, guys. Come on over here, please. That's what he sounds like. Stealing your coffee, my man. Those are fighting words. Okay. Honestly, the chickens, like, the video that I put out, the ending, the little skit that I did for 7 days, the chicken that escaped, she was trying really hard to get through the fencing because all of her buddies were over there through the fencing, but she couldn't figure out where the door was. If I'm not mistaken, that's the exact same chicken that has gotten out like 3 times, and every time she's just sitting there running along the sides of the fence trying to figure out how to get back in. Because she can't figure out how she did what she did. What HUD are we using? We're using the Go-Go Fairy one. What is the initials for that? GFI? No. Dag. Okay. What was that game? What are you doing? GFH, GF HUD maybe? Something like that. It is Aurora Giggle Fairy's HUD, but the actual initials for the HUD itself, for you to look it up, I don't remember the initials. Oh, Screamer. You used a single bullet. She's here. Question is, did she bring a sister? She brought friends. Every single piece of loot you can possibly get in this game has a nerf. Oh my god. Want books? Nerf it. Want ammo? Nerf it. Want water? Nerf it. Walk this way, guys. There we go. Oh no. My dude, you are fast as hell. Hold on. Wait. Here, let's go down here for a second. You are not allowed to skip. They are skipping. I am really not level enough for me to be getting rads. I'm not sure why they're showing up. Holy hell, dude! Frank has gotten into the liquor again. He's weaving. Okay, good grief. Yeah, I don't even have a rad remover. Dang it, I just tried to reload my club. Pay no mind. It's fine. Okay. Um... Good heavens. AFG. Thank you. It goes by the combined loot stage. Yeah. And apparently our combined loot stage is giving us rads. They're coming out on your side, Richie. But they're probably coming up here with me. Yes, they are. They're here. Oh my, thank you so much for the follow. Oh my god. Freaking irradiateds. This is a bad area to go. Open that. Go out here. I don't have any sort of auto anything to be able to put enough ammo down range for that guy. We're gonna get a screamer. Dadgummit. Okay. They're here.
They're here.
Welcome, Restart Gaming. How you doing? How's your stuff? How's your things? Thank you guys for the follows. I appreciate. Harry Chris, thank you so much for the follow. I have no idea if I'm saying that right or not. Oh, jeez. Raider outfit, armor. Tin can! Okay. Don't do that. Always on the lookout for clean server side mods? Yeah, exactly. It's always better whenever people don't have to try and figure out how to mod the game in order to play a server. Good grief. Finally remember to leave a review for this game on Steam. I doubt things will change, but we can be hopeful, right? Yeah. I think there's always a chance for people to turn around. I think the biggest issue, though, is it's going to require that the people who started playing the game, who started the game, who had the idea for the game, they're going to have to speak up. And Sam, thank you, Samuel. I gotcha. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Nice name. I think it's going to require the people going back to their roots and remembering why they were making the game and what makes survival fun. I think too much of it turned into new corporate mumbo-jumbo. Like, I don't know, maybe one of the tech bros or something like that came up to him and said, hey, this is how we're doing gaming now. We need you to do it too, so that you can earn lots and lots of money. This is what everybody likes, and nobody actually likes it. That's just how they monetize the game further, by making the game worse. Case in point, I love, what was that new game that came out? Hold on, I can actually look it up. Once Human, I think? Yeah, it was Once Human. Loved the game, loved the aesthetic. The bad guys were amazing, the little digi guys were cute. The whole thing, the whole aesthetic was right up my alley. Loved it. The little thing where you could jump off of things and float down to the ground, all of it. 100% would recommend the game. And then all the monetization, the 5,000 different types of currency, the constant changeover of the server, all of the monetization that was put in on the back end made it to where I don't play the game. I won't touch it anymore. It's too much like they're trying to figure out how to talk you into paying money for something instead of just saying, hey, you want to buy this reasonably priced DLC that you can show inside your multiplayer game? That's one thing. Doing 5,000 currencies people have to purchase and never actually understand what they're paying on something, and the 5,000 different seasons, season passes, season coins, stuff doesn't transfer between servers, it's just all predatory. So I just walked away from the game.
I bet your nose is so high in the air you could drown in a rainstorm.
I am not a chicken.
Good job.
Okay.
You want vehicles or parts?
Anyway, all those predatory
You can't beat
monetization,
that with a stick.
you could beat it with a stick. There's a lot you can beat with a stick. There's just really no point in beating it with a stick. What is your obsession with beating things with sticks? Or putting socks on roosters? You weirdo. Anyway, once your game turns into that kind of predatory monetization, or you start implementing those, all changes that you do from there on out, every single choice that you're making is about that new monetization thing. It doesn't matter where in this line of monetization you think you're going. If you think you're doing it for the betterment of everybody, in actuality, you're doing it to make currency. If you're making the game harder and selling back the ability to have a decent experience, that's predatory. Selling outfits, depending on how it's done, it can be done okay as long as it's not done in a predatory fashion. If you take away every bit of good out of a game to sell it back to people, that's when the predatory stuff comes in. And I'm hoping that people backlashing the way that they did will stop that from happening before it starts. I am all about a company making extra money to keep their servers going and, you know, keep the work going, but it has to be done in tandem with making the best experience possible. Case in point, Outlast Trials. Beautifully done game, for those of you. That's a weird thing to say. For those of you who know the game that I'm talking about, you're probably like, I've seen that game. That beauty is not the word I would use to describe that. What I mean is the game is perfect for its genre. It stays in its genre. It doesn't try to push a political message. It doesn't try to sell you things inside of the storyline that doesn't fit with the plot line of the story. And it expands on the actual story of Outlast that existed prior to the advent of the online game. And the DLCs that they sell are reasonably priced, and you can actually use them, see them, and everything else in the game. So that's a multiplayer online game that does not feel predatory to me. It can be done. So we shall see whether or not this stuff, you know, helps. I have no idea. I hope it helps. I hope things change. I hope this mindset of predatory practices stops. Hell, I actually hope that there's a revelation in the casual gaming community that tells them that, you know, I don't have to just eat shit and deal with it. I can have good stuff too and still be a casual gamer. Because I'm not going to get into... Most people probably don't know what I'm talking about, and I think I should probably leave it that way. That's all up to the people who watch this individual to determine, but... Casual gamers saying there's nothing wrong with a game, why do you care if this game is changed this way, it's just a game, are not helping the conversation. And sadly, I mean, not sadly, I don't want to say that casual gaming is not a thing. Casual gaming is very much a thing. You can be a casual gamer of anything. We play Schedule 1 casually and it's still fun. What I'm saying is someone who's a casual gamer telling other people, why are you reacting that way? It's just a game. How dare you get sensitive? What, do you need to go to a crazy house because you're invested in a game? What's wrong with you? That kind of argument is not going to help this game get better. At all. You know what? I could do with a bit of meds. Yoink. I have a bit of a headache. Whether it's because of a zombie slapping me in the face or if it's because of a lack of caffeine, we will never know.
Hey buddy, you look thirsty. Why don't you get hydrated?
Thank you so much for the hydration. You're not fond of storms because most players just go in and hide from the storms? I like the concept of the storm, but in practice it's not working. I said that back whenever I first said the storms. The storms look cool. They function beautifully as far as, I mean, yeah, there's a bit of weirdness that is happening with them, but functionally for a survival game, a storm makes sense. It just does. I don't think it was implemented right, first off, and secondly, there needs to be a way of combating the storm. Even in real life nowadays, if it's raining outside, yeah, you might opt to stay inside, but if you have something you have to go outside and do, you just get a rain jacket or an umbrella and go out and do it anyway. Heck, we have got, like, tornado warnings, and there are people still driving down the street! There needs to be, like, a median between the storms and the usage. There needs to be ways to augment that. Yes, if you're going back and forth between POIs and you're just going to be in the POI anyway doing things, there's really not a reason to be out in the storm. Now, if the Fun Pimps implement something where you get better loot or a higher chance of drop rate during a storm, that could bring storms back in. But like I said, whenever I first tried out the storms, I tried the storms in Conan and we just turned them off. It's just a reason to stay inside. There's no fun to having the storm. Thematically, it makes sense. In practice, it's boring. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see whether or not they fix anything and give people a reason to go out. The dual... how do you say that? The dual stages of reactions, like the first stage, your character having some sort of status effect, makes sense, and then it progressing into a really bad storm, particularly if it's like a blizzard. If you stay out in the storm too long, you're going to die. That makes more sense. It's odd, it's almost like they got the idea from somewhere, but they need to give people a reason to want to go out in the storms, and right now there's just not a big enough reason to make people want to go out and interact with them. I hated that they took 7 days to die from the sandbox to making you get magical Boy Scout badges. I'm happy they're changing it away from that and going back to a more sandbox. That should have honestly have been the way it was to start with. They should never have looked to empty the sandbox to begin with. I don't know why it got into the head of people instead of changing over from the sandbox mode into their story mode that they didn't need to keep both modes, but there for a little while they were like, nobody really cares if we get rid of one side and go in favor of the other side. It's still a sandbox because they can walk where they want to, I guess. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Honestly, the reaction to it should have been very obvious it was going to happen. I don't know what they were thinking. Speaking of a cup of coffee, I'd say it's a lack of caffeine. Yeah. Sadly, I don't have any coffee right now. I am on the 5-hour energy shot. Here, let's take care of that. There we go. We are functioning caffeine addicts. At least Conan Exiles gives you a way to combat the sandstorm, and so does Ark. Don't they have it where you can make a mask to wear during the storm? So you can still go out and function in the storm and do everything, but you're having to deal with... I'm not a big fan of saying... how do you describe this? Oh, jeez. Okay, for instance, I've been watching a lot of Project Zomboid, and it's not like whenever you go outside during the fog, it gives you negatives to certain things, or it injures you in some sort of way. It is quite simply, you as a player, because of your cone of vision, cannot see the zombies coming. What is wrong with that? What if the zombies are moving at a speed, which they do, they increase their speed during a storm, and the storm blocks your vision as a player, it actually blocks your vision from being able to see them, and that's the problem that you have. If you go out during the storm, you may not see the bad guy coming. And maybe there is a bit of, like, I don't know, stamina issues or whatever, a light stamina issue, and then you actually have to deal with the very real problem of not being able to see the bad guy. So, what's wrong with real life perks that you actually interact with instead of just like status effects and stuff like that? Or you have to put on a mask that actually gives you a cone of vision like this, and then on top of that you're having to deal with, like if you're wearing a mask, you actually have the vignette around your character, and you have lower vision, not because some stat says you have lower vision, but you physically cannot see it. Whenever you're looking through your character, you can't see the zombie running, and the zombies run during the storms, so why isn't that just a thing? It's immersive, right? That's just me. That's just me. That's how I feel about it. Did I get another mission, or did I just leave? I just left. Dadgummit. I was over here dealing with a headache. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home and take some meds and lay down for a nap, and that's what I just did. Just simple real-world status issues that your character should have to deal with that would slow the game down like they want it to, but would make more sense, like your character becoming actually tired and needing to sit at your base and rest for a while, whereas fatigue is just a status effect. And resting does nothing to accelerate it. Like, what would happen if, say, your character got fatigued from a bad guy, and while you're moving around, the fatigue ticks down very, very slowly. But if you stop moving and actually sit and rest somewhere, which we don't have the ability to sit and rest, that counter drops by half. Or like 3/4, therefore forcing you to actually sit and rest in order for your character to feel better. It's not forcing you to, you just have lower stamina if you decide to continue moving. But it is really like, instead of me taking a vitamin to get rid of my sleepy time, let me actually go rest. Let me just sit around my base and cook some food for like 10 minutes and I'm good. Or I can ignore it and continue.
What can I get you?
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Or you can ignore it and have to deal with your character being slightly tired for the next hour or so. A cone of silence would be good too. Like during the storm, the only thing you can hear is the wind from the storm, and you put on your goggles or whatever. It reduces the cone of vision, so you're not able to see whether or not zombies are here unless you're spinning around or something like that. And then, of course, the actual storm itself creating vision problems. Why is that not why storms work? And of course your character needs to be, this is all back to the how it being dressed properly. If your character's dressed for the storm, say you're in the right biome, wearing the appropriate gear, you're not dealing with any of the status effects from being too hot or too cold. Jeb, please.
You look
Fire
like
station.
You can. Just
Thank
remember
you.
that pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered, and you'll be fine.
Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. And, wait. What? Dude, I feel like someone put a... Who wrote his lines? Did they just go to an AI or something like that and say, here, give me some stupid southern slang lines that don't actually exist? And they ran with those lines. None of this makes sense. You have no idea what he's saying, except for if you try to put socks on a rooster. I can imagine that wouldn't go very well. Oh my gosh. Stop using AI to write your lines. I don't know if that's actually where they got them, but... Holy crap. It doesn't even make sense. Well, that's the purpose. No. Actually, anybody's slang actually makes sense to them and their demographic. I am a southerner sitting here scratching my head at your southern person trying to figure out what the hell they're saying. I would understand if you had like a... I don't know, a New Yorker using his slang, or someone from Jersey using their slang, not understanding what they're saying because they're using their slang from their dialect. You quite literally gave that guy a southern dialect, and I as a southern person have no idea what the hell they're talking about. God, do better writing. I'm in your locker. You're behind the boxes, aren't you? Socks on a rooster is real and not doing it, just the expression. Like I said, that one makes more sense. I have a rooster. I can imagine that that would be difficult. But some of the stuff he's saying does not make sense. Okay. You feel offended as a southerner? Yes! As a southerner, we feel collectively offended by your lack of understanding in southern dialects and phrasing. Not even one line about grits. I am offended. I'm joking. Though it is puzzling. We do have like 5,000 phrases that have to do with grits, and you didn't use any of them. Just feel like you didn't try hard enough there. Ow, no! There we go. On the other hand, Rect is totally you. I'm sorry for everybody around you. Not to be offensive in any way, but Rect has got a bad attitude. It probably wouldn't be so bad if Rect wasn't the first one that everybody runs into. But he's just like the honorary dude you had a choice in whether or not you went to go visit him to get your seeds or whatever. But people have to interact with him. Reaper! How you doing? As a southerner, you just walk away from Joel and say, bless your heart, or bless your pea-picking little heart. Or something to that effect, or it's fried green tomato seasons, or something, anything that's actually southern. No, he's just like, I don't even understand where they got the lines at. Is this like a local dialect of maybe some other state I'm not used to? Because even I, as a southerner, have never heard socks on a rooster. Roosters exist here, and I can picture how difficult it would be to get socks on my rooster. I also don't understand why you would try, as a matter of fact, but some of the other phrases, it's just weird. And I'm wondering, is this like a phrases you got from a dialect, or did you have AI write southern phrases that don't exist? He's misquoting it. It's pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. Proverb that's usually good. It's good to make a profit, but don't get greedy. Pigs get fed. Hold on. Pigs get fed. It's pigs get fed and hogs get slaughtered. Okay, but pigs actually get slaughtered too. I'm going to shun them. Get out your pitchforks! It's used quite a bit in Midwest, here in Nebraska and Kansas. Okay, maybe they are picking up their southern, or their country slang, I should say. Maybe it's just country slang, not southern slang. Maybe they're picking it up from a different region, which might make sense because these phrases I have never heard. Okay, I don't hear anybody else. And Reaper's here. Reaper, how's your day going? You actually climbed into the server, which means you're done with your workday? Nice. Parody, how you doing today? You took today off? Migraine? You decided to climb into 7 days with a migraine? Uh-oh. I hope your headache gets feeling better, though. It's calmed down now? Okay, good, good, good. I hate migraine days. I spend the whole day trying to figure out whether or not it's just a simple migraine, or if I haven't hydrated enough, or I haven't caffeinated enough, or did I just not sleep right? Did I sleep wrong? Too much Schedule 1 playing? Are you tasting your samples again? Oh. No comment? Uh-huh, uh-huh. Dude exploded me. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Go down the— why are you trying to bang through the floor? Go down this— okay. You missed. Jeez, jeez, jeez. Don't do it. He's over there lifting weights. You're a good little boy, your middle name is Angel? I don't believe that. How much can you bench, dude? How much can you bench? It's not answering me. Need some music for him. Some gym music, you know? We found the perfect trap. And it's not what you think. It's that situation when you get a subscription membership to a gym and you try to unsubscribe from it and it sends you around in circles instead of letting you unsubscribe from the gym. What you doing, my dude? Can you figure out how to get out of there now? There we go. Can we stop calling it AI? I mean, it's artificial, but can we really call it intelligence at this point? I mean, technically when we're talking about online stuff that's basically learned from the internet, I wouldn't say that's intelligence. Intelligence would be a leap of it figuring out something on its own that we haven't figured out, which, who knows, there's probably ones that exist. The AI in the game is not actually intelligent. It's more frustrating than it is anything. Just gets stuck. For all the smartness that they keep giving the zombies, it keeps making them dumber and dumber. And less immersive. So yeah, I guess we probably could stop calling it AI, but that's kind of like the rudimentary title that we've given it. Hello, housekeeping. There are a lot of bad guys up here. They shove them in that tiny hole? Did you shove a zombie inside that tiny hole? I bet you they did. I bet you. Hi. In high school, I could bench 375, now maybe 25. Jeez. You know, in high school, I really wasn't that athletic at all through school. I had a period of time in my life where I was very athletic. My job demanded that I was athletic, and I could do 10 pull-ups, and I could hold up my own body weight, but I never figured out how much I could bench, per se. I never did that kind of lifting. Cannot tell me there's not actually a zombie in there. Where are you hiding these zombies? There's one of them. Blah! Okay. Come on over here, my dude. Oh. Jeez, he's fast. It's not gonna help. Cheats and hacks. There. Stop! Okay. Okay, everybody else is gonna have to figure out how to get down here. Okay, okay. Dude just fell 3 times in the exact same spot. Yeah, is this only as a smart the one who created it? Yeah, enough said. Oh, good lord. I don't know, I don't think the zombies should be smart. I don't think that they should be smart at all. I think that's the problem, is they were made smarter than zombies should be. If you're gonna spend a long time trying to bring in bandits, then the AI for the zombie actually needs to be quite dumb. They need to actually act like mindless husks that run around and try to eat brains. Thereby making your bandits prime opportunity to have an intelligent bad guy. Okay, he's actually dead. Someone's getting greedy. Okay. I probably should have waited until after they took care of that door, but... oh well. That took care of all the bad guys. A tier 3 baseball bat. When I was in high school, everyone went by how much weight you can bench or squat in a single rep. Some time ago, around 10 or 15 years ago, everyone started going by how many reps of 225 you can do. Zombies are supposed to be mindless enemies hell-bent on eating you, not this garbage we have right now. Zombies should be like zombies from Romero, the godfather of the zombie. They should be, and yet again, I'll go back to the same thing I've been saying. I'm not sure exactly why they decided to do that, other than they knew it was going to take a while to figure out bandits, which I don't know why, because they've had bandits in the game before. And they can be implemented, but if you're planning on implementing a intelligent bad guy of some sort, then why would you change the AI of the non-intelligent bad guys for like 3 or 4 years, 5 years, however long it's been? I don't understand, because you like went through an entire development cycle of slowly making them smarter and smarter and smarter, instead of working on the bad guy that was supposed to be smart to begin with. I don't know. We don't need bandits, we've got smart zombies. My god, I am hungry. Oh, that's a Shamway box. Do you have food in you? Chicken ration? Sure. Looks disgusting. Uh-oh. Storm is here. Do I have lockpicks? Apparently I do. I'm not trying to do all that, though. Have fun at work. Yeah, I know. You don't have to give me that sarcastic look, I know. Assassin Boots, Tech Planet, Tools Digest. Uh-oh. Okay, I've got, like, probably not very long before it actually kicks off, so... assuming this is a real storm. Let's hurry up and get back. The HUD for this particular mod... The mod that we're using for a HUD does not actually give you the warning or the countdown for the storm. So let's go back to base, drop off, and do repairs so we can sell. Okay, do I have that mod already? Yes, I do. Okay. Tech junkie. I guess what I probably need to do is... I mean, those are worth selling, but at the same time, I don't necessarily have to sell them. We had one whole spring in here? What the heck, dude? Take that for sale, take that for sale. That for sale. I like the Desert Eagle, so I'm just gonna hold on to it for now. And... I guess I'll leave those shoes. Okay, now we wait for the storm. I tried playing the Romero mod game. George Romero game. But even with all walking, they still made ferals run. Are you talking about a mod for 7 days, or is there an actual game that I don't know about? Even in Alpha 20, they've got bandits in the XML files. I would assume they were probably removed so they could work on the AI, but the issue is they made the zombies too smart, and now the bandits have to compete with them. If bandits... Now, obviously anytime you've ever played a mod that added bandits into the game, they were kind of done shooting in random locations. They could take pot shots off of, at you while you're on the ground and still hit you, those types of things. But if the zombies were back in, I don't know, Alpha 16 or something like that, where they were really dumb, they couldn't climb down ladders, they didn't dig underneath the ground for you or whatever, a smart bandit that acts the way the zombies do now, where they go for the doors, they know which kind of blocks are the strongest blocks, and stuff like that, those differences would have made sense. They really would have. Rowdy, thank you so much for the follow! But because they spent so long making the zombies smart, how do you make an NPC that is smarter than the zombies you have right now? You don't do that without breaking the game and making every single person's horde base, or whatever, null and void. I don't think it's actually doable. They would have to reduce the intelligence of the actual zombies, and then they have to run more than one AI, and, well, we all know how much drag the AI takes on the game itself. Which is probably the actual problem they're having with the AI being implemented, is because they have to be able to implement it and people be able to run it. I think that's probably the issue. I have no knowledge. I could be wrong, but if you have two AIs going and one of them's already eating all of the frames, it could be kind of hard to implement too. We need dumb zombies and smart bandits? Yeah, we need them. Bandits may be a means to an end for the actual story mode. Yeah, but they're supposed to implement the bandits in the 3.0 version. So that's actually the new version we're supposed to be getting, and the 4.0 is supposed to be the story. But, as we've been told, we are the reason why bandits don't exist yet, even though they've existed before. I'm not sure how hard it is to program a guy with a gun shooting a player. They've been making first-person shooters for like 30 years now, yes. But all of those don't necessarily have the AI that they've been working on and patching together and augmenting and changing for the last 11 years, basically. Every single way that people play this game right now, the zombies have been programmed to go around it. They have to undo that many years worth of AI programming and make a dumb zombie AI again. Either that, or try somehow or another to create bandits that are rocket scientists. There's a Romero mod for 7 Days to Die. I didn't know if that's what they were talking about. Yeah, there is a Romero mod. Basically, it just takes away all of your horde knights, because the Romero mod, you can get random hordes that are like triple the size of a horde knight, basically, all at the same time. They're all shambling zombies, none of them run. And you can also turn on, there's two different versions, one where it's just regular zombie kills, and the other one where it's headshots only. Where the body shot does like 1 point of damage, and if you get a headshot, it does double damage, so it encourages you to do headshots to kill them faster. It's actually a very interesting mod. If you get tired of playing Horde Knights, I know a lot of people like seeing Horde bases, but if you get tired of Horde Knights, it's a fun game to play. The only problem is the last time I tried the Romero mod, it hadn't been updated recently. There was a file missing from it. Honestly, it's harder to make NPCs not incredibly accurate insta-kill gunslingers. Yes, that's one of the biggest ones. Whenever you implement NPCs into the game using an outside thing, they could be in the process of standing up. You know the way that the zombies, when they stand up to do something, they can get a hit on you? The NPCs with a gun can do the same thing, and that's extremely unimmersive to have someone trying to shoot a gun while they're trying to stand up and still hit you. So, as long as it's been, if they deliver something like that, and as smart as the zombies are, I think people would be very angry if that's what they were left with. That's just me. We can take turns playing on the rented NASA computer? Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people streaming Grounded too. That is not surprising. It is the next big thing. I am very interested in playing it, but I think I'll wait until after the hype is done. Yeah, it's our fault. Yep. It's basically Romero-style zombies. Slow, large groups, headshots for the best damage. Yes. I know I've said it before, but going back to Alpha 20 has really made the game fun. Alpha 20 for me was peak gaming. I think they fixed a whole lot of issues that were in like Alpha 16 and stuff like that. That's when they started making the overhauls to the graphics and everything. I think there are some things that got left behind. Gardening being one of them. That's just me. I think that part has been left behind for a long time. There's a few other things like looting. I think this is because I've been playing a recent game. I don't know how many of you people have heard of Surrounded. But looting in that game is actually very fun. You're out looking for pockets. You're trying to organize your inventory according to how your satchel holds up. You only get pockets by picking up like backpacks, things with pockets in them, extra cases, those types of things. And the loot that you find inside of them makes sense for the world. Like I was excited to find a sleeping bag. I was excited to find a tent. I was excited to find water bottles. I mean, the looting in that game is legitimately fun, whereas here you find scraps of iron, scraps of plastic, and books. Storm's over and Richie died? What happened? I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I like the joke mod. It's a mod that actually puts in a lot of silly things into the game, but some of the things are actually kind of cool, you know, aside from the banana peels that are everywhere that are absolutely freaking hilarious. It puts in things that make sense, like instead of getting scrap plastic, you get things that scrap into plastic. I won't name what some of those things are, but it makes sense. Instead of finding mechanical items, you would probably find a watch if you were playing Project Zomboid or something like that. I feel like it would be a whole lot more interesting to play where things were things instead of scraps of things. So, am I the only one who feels that way? Especially if you could utilize a lot of those things, like if you got... which one is it? It is Darkness Falls. You have to either find or craft a watch in order to find out what the day is and the time is. Which means if you ever find a watch in the game, you're excited. You know? That type of stuff. Makes you excited to go out and loot. Rad remover! Taking it.
Tools or a new vehicle?
And infested clear. Sure.
I've got work and do. You must have more guts than you can hang on your fence.
Why are we hanging guts on fences? Why are we hanging guts on fences? Is this your decorative choice?
Butter my transmission.
Okay. My Midwest people, do you butter your transmissions?
Friends about me. Trader Bob.
Do you butter your transmissions? This is not good phrasing. If that was Southern slang, it'd be butter my grits. Oh, man. I'm trying to understand Bob. I'm trying. Only with peanut butter? Oh, okay, alright. Gotta love that peanut butter in that transmission. Yum. Makes it run right, you know what I'm saying? Ah. Love the last Hidden Harvest. Really enjoy seeing your ant farm. Yeah, no kidding. Man, those ants. Oh my gosh. We have got a serious ant problem, and it's not just my garden, they're in my house. All it takes is, like, someone to leave something tiny, and it could be something like a piece of cat food in the wrong area of the house, and then there's a line doing the Macarena from like 5 yards away to that one piece of food. It's like, there has to have been 5 generations of ants to die taking that one piece of food back to your queen. What are you doing? Nope. It just doesn't make sense. Ants don't make any sense. And they're so incredibly invasive in my garden. taken out pepper plants, beans. They're after my okra now. Thankfully, the okra doesn't seem to care. Man, they're in everything. You still remember the old mod, Real Survival? Did that add, like, realistic loot stuff? You need, in Darkness Falls, you need a watch to find them and know the time, same as Project Zomboid. See, that would make sense. That would give you something to work towards. Some realism back. Some immersion, you know what I'm saying? When Jen talks about Fallout meds and says she doesn't have any sort of stuff, I don't know. I can tell you, the first time she said one of those lines, I thought it was a cool homage to a game. And then they stole one of the POIs from Fallout, which I guess you could say is just a bigger homage to another game. Now I feel like she breaks immersion when she does it. It just doesn't feel right. That's just like peanut butter. Never mind. Okay. You can have an homage occasionally to another game or another industry. The problem is when your game has taken a direct turn towards that thing, it suddenly turns into stop doing that. Don't. The line originally was, I don't know what a stim pack is. And that casual, offhanded remark, every once in a great blue moon, makes sense. Then she popped out with a, I don't know what Radex and Jet and such and such and such and such, and it's like, Jen, if you want to fall out and chill with me, just say so. You don't have to name drop like this. It's referring to gear butter for transmission fluid. So not just regularly buttering it for taste reasons. Meat spoilage and body odor. Honestly, one of the mods that makes the most sense in RimWorld actually adds hygiene into it. And Joke Mod adds hygiene. Now it calls it stink. If you were to actually put in hygiene, that really makes sense in the apocalypse. Especially since you have at least one, I think he's the only one, who mentions your body odor at some point. You know? And food spoilage would actually make sense so long as they fix the farming back the way it was. Where you don't have to reseed everything and stuff like that. If things just went bad over time, it would be a reason to continue farming properly. But they've nerfed farming as it is by forcing you to replant everything, which takes up time doing a non-fun thing. And then, the amount of stuff you get from it, I don't know. Food spoilage does seem like a good thing to do, but I think the whole food situation and water situation, for that matter, need to be reworked to make it more immersive anyway. Food spoilage does make it immersive, just not with the stats that they have right now. If they were to immediately change it over to where food spoilage existed, people would get angry because it's already hard enough to get food. Depending on the type of food. I mean, you can find cans. It's a little bit rough the first couple of days. I don't know. I would make it insanely complicated. For instance, rations should not have a dysentery chance. Rations last for a long, long damn time. If you were to have things like canned peas, fruit, those types of things, those would have dysentery chance. And then you would have your skill level takes away the chance for dysentery as you make food, but when you first start cooking, there should be a dysentery chance. And the more things that you put into your cooking area, the less chance of a dysentery. So I'm not sure whether or not all that stuff would actually cause any problems. And of course, with farming, you shouldn't have to plant seeds on certain crops. It should be like this one plant right here. You should be able to harvest that one like, I don't know, 10 times before that plant needs to be replanted, because plants do eventually run out of steam, but it would be plants give out a certain amount of food and then they're gone and you have to replant, and there would also be a chance for blight to happen on your plants where you'd actually have to go through and take out your plants because they're going to spread blight to your other plants. I would make it insanely complicated, and I don't even know that the game could do that. Nope. And of course there would have to be the planting in the ground, hoe, and fertilizer. That it would have to be brought back into the game because those are way more immersive. Oh, piggies. The poor piggies. Somebody crawling back there? No, somebody's walking. Okay. Make sure you walk your zombies, folks, before they get bored. Hi. Well, no, he's angry. He fell. I don't even think he knows I'm over here. He's just back there wandering around. Last time you heard you were getting no response. The comment section on one of his posts on X, YouTube team or whatever had gotten back in touch with him through DM, so I'm assuming they're in conversations about it. How far they've gotten, I have no idea. You can't see me anymore, you should stop spitting. Where did he go? Wasn't he? Oh, he went all the way back up there. I thought he was on ground floor still. No? Nice landing. It's a bit more elegant than the one that you did while we were way back there. No food spoilage. I like having tons of pumpkin pies and smoothies. Yeah, but if you make it complicated enough, for instance, how would you take care of having the ability to create pumpkin pies and smoothies and things like that? You introduce canning. So if you take your pumpkins and can them, they stay. They would no longer cause problems. So if you had canning recipes to create your own rations, as it were, food lasts a whole hell of a lot longer. Of course, you could also implement refrigeration since you do have electricity. Oh, jeez. Got her. How did she just hit me? She was falling backwards. Lies and cheats. And before we can have a complicated food system / farming system and maybe some animal husbandry, the fact that the zombies can be falling backwards and have nothing towards you can suddenly hit you with nothing. Unless every single one of them have an extra appendage that is invisible, we're never going to be able to make complicated farming and foodstuffs. Oh, thank you. Gotta get the basics down before you can do the complicated stuff, and they haven't quite figured that part out either. Complicated storms and everything else like that, and we haven't even figured out how to stop zombies from hitting you while they're falling backwards. What we need is an immersion overhaul mod. Still no sign of his channel on YouTube yet? hopefully they get it sorted very soon, because this is a ridiculous amount of time for them to be able to do that. It's a waste of bullets. Glowing dog chow all over the floor. If you had to take care of body odor, they would have to make you sleep and go to the bathroom. Yeah, it's odd that a survival game completely left out that part too. I mean, I get it that you're in a server and it's harder to do server things, but there are games that exist where your character has to rest, and they just put a timer on it. It just seems weird it's a survival thing and your character doesn't have to actually legit rest. Like I said earlier, if your character's suffering from fatigue, if you could cure your fatigue simply by going home and sitting or sleeping or something like that, instead of pushing through, but your character has to deal with fatigue for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours or something like that, if you don't actually have your character rest, instead of just taking a vitamin and it goes away, this magical pill makes your fatigue go away. It's not caffeine. Ugh. Ow. Oh, the other one got away. Hang on. I need to go get a refill. I did not mean to fall all the way down. Dadgummit. Ah! Found him. Okay. Also, some of the weapons are way OP, like the stun baton, which is kind of funny because it used to be the stun baton was the shittiest weapon you could use if you didn't spec into it completely. Now they've gone completely the other way, where the stun baton is OP. And well, basically all of the weapons that they decided to make books for and do things for in this alpha, whatever, they made OP because they have been bad weapons before. And have been for a long time. I was of the opinion the baton is a great weapon, but you actually have to fully commit to the baton and put every single perk point you can into it. Get the mod, perk into it, and then use it along with the candy. Of course, at first the candy didn't work the right way to help you out, but now it's like there are so many perks around it. It's like, now you're cheating if you're using the baton because, it's so OP. Kinda is. But after years of it getting neglected, it's like, okay, so when does the baton actually get books for itself instead of lumping the robotics in along with it? Hatch. Bartering. Nah. I missed! Ow, my foot. And my parkour leaves a bit to be desired. Do I have... I don't. Dadgummit. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Also, the fact that I can completely ignore the fact that my leg is messed up and just walk through it and not die, it's really messed up. It was very frustrating when you would break a leg and you would have to deal with your health going down if you tried to run on it, but it was at least a little bit more immersive. Let me go turn this mission in and we'll go get a cast or a splint or something. I always use the pipe baton as my first weapon. The club is the best first weapon, but I like the animation that goes along with the pipe baton. It's better than the gunk, gunk that you do with the other weapons.
They're here.
Boone, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate. Thank you, thank you. For canning, they'd have to implement salts and vinegar into the game. Heck, I would not be opposed to them actually going full force into implementing a better food system and gardening system for the game. That's just me. If they wanted to do like dried meats, if they wanted to do vinegars, fermenting, so you actually have to ferment your beers, you can't just like send it through the chemistry station and poof, beer. If they were to do a moonshine still, I'd be okay with that. That would also take care of probably like 9 out of 10 of their problems having to do with water. Because if you sent it through a still and did it that way instead of having to boil it, you could actually implement things like... what would be one of the ways of fixing the water situation? First off, you'd have to bring jars back. Secondly, you need to have irradiated water. You need to have specifically very dirty water that can't really be cleaned unless you send it through an extra process. And then just regular boiled water. And then you're going to have to send it through a filter to actually clean it. The dew collector is a simplified version of something dumb that doesn't actually make sense. So, like I said, don't really want my opinion on the food situation and the water situation. I would make it insanely complicated to get food and water. But it would make it to where when you finally implemented those and got all of those, it would feel rewarding to actually finally have the things that you got. And then there would be, like, later game water systems that you have to implement later
buddy.
on
You
for...
look thirsty. Why don't
Thank
you
you,
get
thank you.
hydrated?
I need to go get another drink before I can do that. In that way, you could actually change it to where you have, like, maybe a dew collector or a water catcher or something like that, but you could also get water from streams and things without overdoing the water system if you implement a more sturdy food system, gardening system, that kind of thing. But that's probably not something that they actually think is fun to do in a sandbox survival situation, is actually implement realistic food, farming, hygiene, any of that. I shall be right back. I'm gonna go grab me something else to drink. I see you guys flirting with my chair again. Mom's come back from shopping with a pumpkin spice latte. Oh, that sounds good. Fish and salt, salted fish, but it increases your liquid intake? Yes. Instead of something random like a potato causing you to be more thirsty, it should actually be salted foods that cause you to be thirsty. Which would be... that would kind of be the trade-off. You would need extra hydration for a meat that lasts a long time instead of spools.
Good evening. If you, I reckon you'll be living in high cotton now.
Okay. It's not the way that's said either, but alright. And that's a restore power. Okay. I don't get how boiled meat gives you +5 to hydration. Because it actually still has moisture in it and you're probably drinking the broth. I would consider that more like a stewed meat. Like, not a meat stew, just like a stewed meat. You would have broth along with it. You would probably drink the broth that it was cooked in. I don't have a problem necessarily with the +2 hydration when you boil it. Now, obviously, if you boil meat and drain all the juice out of it, you do a bad time of cooking it, it's probably not going to hydrate you, but I would assume that you probably wouldn't sit there and overcook it, maybe. I don't know. I'll turn the AC on. They said the temperature is supposed to go up by 3 degrees. It feels like more like 10. They'd also have to make fish have an intelligent boost effect. Try tying some of the food or drinks into the actual system. I'm not sure that it should give you intelligence boosts or boost to your stats or whatever like that unless you're doing like, I don't know, caffeine actually helps you with fatigue and I don't know. You could definitely go the way of, say, what's a good game to go with? Project Zomboid. They've got little moodlets that they have, like your character can get bored, your character can get scared, your character can get all kinds of things that we really don't take into account with our characters at all. And you could tie some of those systems in with it. I don't know that I trust the Fun Pimps to be able to tie it in immersively. I think it would just get messed up and the way to fix it would be even worse. Like, say if we had, your character getting bored or anxious or something like that, there'd probably be some sort of magic potion you have to go get in order to fix it. Whereas I could probably just drink this beer and my character would be okay. Okay, hydration. Do I have the ability to make very much stuff? Let's do this. Living in high cotton means experiencing success. Yes, but I feel like the reason that they use that is because it was part of a song. Full auto mod? If I had a weapon I could put that into, that would be awesome. Oh, wait. That'd be good. Right there. Hearts. The rise in temperatures, the heat being kicked out by the NASA supercomputer as you're playing the game. No, that wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all, really.
They're here.
They're here. Fathomless Gaming, thank you so much for the follow. I think the way that they could implement it, they used to be in the game before. If you had a reason for investing your time into making better food, this all goes back to the awesome mod Darkness Falls, if your character had wellness. That judges how well your character's actually handling the apocalypse if things went into wellness. The food being better made, better types, more combinations of stuff, and things like that, actually increasing your wellness would be a way of tying it in. Rather than doing buffs to stuff, because buffs kind of come off as magic-y, if you have a wellness bar, which is actually something a lot of things do, even if the bar is kind of hidden, it's how well your character is handling the apocalypse. If the wellness bar is, like every time you die as a character, your wellness gets lowered, and after your wellness hits a certain point, it affects your health. that's actually the way it used to be implemented. It is still in Darkness Falls that way, actually. Certain foods increase your wellness, you get your wellness up, and your food and your wellness eventually start increasing the amount of health you have. Okay, so we are actually at the point where I have finished all of the missions I can get done today. Because reasons. I do not wish to do the dark, the missions at night. They suck. Actually kind of worried. Well, it says 76 outside. It just feels hot in here. It's probably my PC heating the entire room up. Wouldn't surprise me, actually. Okay, what we need to do is ride around and see if we can't find something that looks interesting. There we go. Just see if there's any POIs that look interesting to get into. It's time to do a tier 5 POI on shrooms? No, 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 no. We do that as a finale. We don't do that just like on any random Wednesday. The very last day of the Horde doesn't necessarily have to be a Horde night. Not the Horde, but the server. It doesn't have to be a Horde night. It could just be like a series of tier 5 raids on shrooms. Just have to put a big warning. Watch out for nauseousness. What do we want to get into? It's gonna have to be something with a lot of containers because we can't break anything if we're just going into the POI. The buffet? No. See if we can't go into town and find some other things. Yes, Emmett. We've already tried doing one POI with all of us on that. For the final Horde, we're going to try and do a tier 5 using melee weapons with just that on. Can we turn on PvP at that time, so if we accidentally smack each other in the head, we're going to know it? Everybody's going to have to put bedrolls down in case of accidents. Haven Hotel. Have I been in Haven? I don't feel like I have. Accidents? Question mark? I think that could be one of the tier 5 POIs that we possibly hit up, though I think we're probably going to go to the Wasteland to hit up those. We need a server-side mod that allows the traders to have lots of missions. Maybe we check out the poppin' pills? That tiny little bit, me just stepping up on that hurt my foot? What do you mean?
What's up?
What's up, Richie? You don't know if you could take part in it? That's okay. It'll just be something silly. Me personally, I'll probably have to take motion sickness tablets. Hi. No need for a sky-high horde base this server? Yeah, probably not. I mean, if we do decide to do a horde, that's fine, but I think a tier 5 run of some sort. Well, a tier 6, because... would you technically call that a tier 7 because you're in the Wasteland? Like, do a tier 5 POI that is infested, that is in the Wasteland. While attempting to take that, mushroom, using melee weapons. and just see if we can actually make it all the way through. Saves you 2 weeks. I will have anti-sickness meds ready. Yeah, me too. Me too. It seems like a fun thing to do, but it would probably be nauseating. It'll be like the time that Psycho tried to do his run with the map upside down. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was like several years ago or something like that. Psycho was playing Alien Isolation, and as a challenge, he inverted the map, basically, and the whole thing was so nauseating to watch. John, how you doing? You got strong anti-sickness meds? I have just got some that are like for people who are in a car or something like that. Anytime I was playing like VR or something like that, I was using it. Sadly, it also kind of makes me sleepy. Kind of like taking Benadryl will make you sleepy. Did I see the new map announcement? I saw that there was a new map announced, but I have not seen any of the stuff yet. I was planning on watching that later on. I was not sure if we were going to be playing Phasmo this week or if we were going to be playing something different, so I hadn't watched it just in case. You got vodka and orange juice, hopefully that'll work. Yeah, that would probably work. I could see that having the same effect. Hello? Me, personally, I think if you shoot this zombie right here, this guy should explode. That's just me. That's the kind of immersion I would like in this game. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but that's the immersion I would like. If I hit the oxygen tank, he should explode or at least fly forward. Melee weapon damage would actually be nice. Better than the max stamina bonus. Yes. Full auto mod would be nice, but I've only got a tier 1. Ah, my foot! Okay-ish? Uh-oh. Have I ever shot the big propane tank since 2? No, I haven't tried one recently. They do still explode, right? They didn't take that back out of the game, did they? Okay. I wonder if there's a mod that actually gives those traders extra missions. You know, like 10 missions or 20 missions or something like that, so you can do a whole lot of missions in a day. We've got 2-hour days, basically. Them just having 4 missions is not enough. That, and we probably need to implement something that allows for bigger towns. The ones made of actual blocks don't, but the other type do? Okay. Yeah, I was supposed to say, they implemented the propane tank blow-up thing. I would hope that they didn't immediately take it back out. A little more impressive, not counting the one with the farm that triggered explosion since alpha something or another. Okay, okay, yeah. Yeah, they have had impressive booms. The only issue is it does not feel like the triggering system really works for the zombies, like the explosive barrels and stuff like that. I have tried leading zombies around explosive barrels to help clear zombies out to make it easier, and it's like they just don't take enough damage from them. I know that they showed it off a little bit. It's like, here, you'll be able to find 5 different ways to clear this POI because these things explode. And it's like, okay, cool, but if they take like half damage from it, or they don't do enough damage, then how is this really helping you? You know? It's like, okay, I didn't have to throw 50 bullets at it, I only had to do 35 bullets, and I managed to call a screamer in faster. It's not really worth using the explosive in the house, you know, or the building. You watched Psycho's video on it? I will probably watch it. I don't know if we're playing Phasmo this week or not. We played it the last 2 weeks. I was thinking of playing either Phasmo or Fallout tomorrow. And then Friday doing Outlast Trials, so... I need to sneeze, guys. I do apologize. I'm being quiet because I feel like I need to sneeze, and it's not happening, so it's just like sitting right there on my nose and making my eyes water. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. It's just gonna sit there. Dadgummit. Bless you, Jinx. Thanks. I'm gonna blame it on you. It's your fault. Now I can't sneeze. It's all your fault. Oh, where do we want to go now? Smirks, what else is new? Yeah. Look at a light, it works for you? I've got a light right here, and it just still did not work. It just opted to, yeah, no. Especially if it destroys loot also, yeah. What's the point in creating something for people to use and be excited about and everything, and then it just causes more problems? Here's this explosive barrel, you're gonna call in a screamer and destroy your loot. Good luck! Bye! Can't counteract everything you put into the game by nerfing it immediately, so people are like, thanks. Thanks. Appreciate it. I would take away your jars. Here's your dew collector, by the way. It calls on a screamer. Good luck, bye! Speaking of Phasmo, did I see the Insta video? No, I hadn't seen it. Don't touch. No touchies? I did not open Discord until like 5 minutes before I was supposed to stream. And it's kind of funny that I skipped Monday's video somehow or another. I scheduled it for yesterday. I don't know how I did that. I got my dates wrong on it. But I spent the entire day thinking, God, nobody's watching the video. There's not even one comment on it. Yeah, apparently they really did not like that one. Maybe I didn't do a good edit, or maybe I messed up with the thumbnail. What on earth is going on? Then find out I didn't post it. Like, I should have guessed. I should have guessed that it was something like that instead. But no, I hadn't pulled up Discord yet. until like right before. You said you had to sneeze and now I'm sneezing? I am sorry. At least you're able to sneeze. Nothing's worse than needing to sneeze and it just sitting right there and screwing up your entire face and then disappearing. I almost messaged you on Monday, but I guess you were still working stuff out. No, I had the video, the thumbnail was done, just I scheduled it for the wrong day. And I didn't realize it until I had edited the next video and was uploading it, and I was going to go ahead and schedule it for the day that it was supposed to come out to, and realized the other one hadn't released. And I was like, ah, man, and it was way, way too late for me to go ahead and release it, just automatically, you know, release it or whatever. I was like, it's scheduled for tomorrow, I'll leave it to go tomorrow, I guess. Dadgummit. It's gonna throw off all of my videos for the week, but, whatever. Sometimes you just have to say, everything's fine. It's chill. Not get stressed about it. Okay, I will slow walk around this entire building. I want some chips. I would like a bag of chips. Come out of there. I know you're in there. And why don't we have bags of chips and Twinkies? Wakey, wakey. You're right there. I know you're there. Hi. Like no in-game junk food, you know? Aside from magic candies. I see you. Nope. Yeah, I heard you. Come on over here, dude. That's why I hate sneezing these days. It freaking hurts. Oh. I have had sneezes that were painful. Lots of sneezes that were painful, but usually it just kind of catches me off guard or it sits on my nose and makes me look weird. Hello. Housekeeping. Hi, ma'am. I'm over 40 and everything hurts. I understand. Yawn too hard, sneeze too hard, move too hard, look too fast. Some nice wheels you have here. Hi, Ed. I don't know, maybe if like modders work together, they can do like little bits and pieces of the elements, you know, that they find the most non-immersive, and then put them together and create the immersive mod. Like someone to overhaul the food, someone to overhaul the loot, because... I mean, lockpicks, cool, but if I open it up and I find clay soil and lead, it's not immersive. What about fishing weights, you know? Where are my fishing weights? That's where you would get lead from. You know, just random things. Fix the loot on there, then fix the food system, the gardening system. What else needs a good overhaul? Like the storm system obviously needs to be quite a bit more immersive. The armor system needs to be reworked back to the way it was. And then put all of those together and create the perfect version of 70s. Hi. Ow. Why did she stop to look?
Stop it. You talking crazy.
I am talking crazy. Where am I going here? Freaking Aussie waifus! Stop your things. Okay. There's a safe on the top shelf. This room or this one back here? I apparently have gotten someone's attention. Jeez. Or back here. Oh, I see it. I see it. Hang on. Let me go kill that guy before he breaks a hole in the building. Hi. Okay. That's why I love the Romero mod. It had those random things, and other things the mod added more to it. That's kind of the reason why, oddly enough, I enjoyed the joke mod as much as I did. It put loot items back in loot instead of it just being base materials, you know? Asking for a perfect version of the game is like asking for a perfect version of a person not happening. That's true because everybody's perfect version is going to be something different. Even though I like my gardening absolutely complicated and the food system very complicated, I think people probably find it grindy, maybe? Unless it complemented other features in the game and the features worked together. So, I mean, ooh, whoa. Hello. Dude, that was a good find. Nice call. That turns that into a very good syllable. An 8x scope, a drum magazine. Can I please put the drum magazine on my pistol? No, I don't think you're allowed to do that. I would like a full auto mod for... for my crossbow. Can I have a full auto mod? It'll look like, what was the movie? Robin Hood Men in Tights, where he just rolls out the entire thing of arrows. Yeah? You have a bunch of 9mm AP ammo? I mean, yeah, I'll use it. Probably save it for a Horde night, though. Drum magazine and a full auto on a revolver? Yes. Yes. Scavengers. Salvage harvest? Okay. And a silencer! While we're at it. Why not? We want to go crazy with it. Something the Fun Pimps claim while they add realism. Something the Fun Pimps claim they want more while simultaneously making it less immersive. Yes. Yes, that. I think it's doable. I think they just got really hyper-focused on the storyline. I mean... Don't get me wrong, I completely understand being hyper-focused on something. But, when that happens and someone points it out and you're kind of neglecting a thing that you should also be doing, it's time to reassess. Because I get hyper-focused on certain projects and I will neglect other projects. Like, yesterday I was supposed to record 2 different types of videos, and I wound up recording only one type of video because I was like, I'm already in the game, I'm brushed up on what's going on, and I want to finish this section out. So I completely ignored the fact that I was supposed to record another game and finish out my recording of that instead, which I was happy with the way it turned out, and I'm okay with that because, I mean... One issue whenever you're going between games is trying to remember the controls for that specific game, and it makes you feel like an idiot for the first 10 minutes of playing it. I hate that. So I feel like I did a good job given the fact that, you know, I don't play that game that often. But I feel bad because I didn't record the other game. I wasn't necessarily being hyper fixated on it, it's just like focusing on one thing, and I think they overly focused on their storyline and was like completely neglecting the other parts of their game that people enjoy. If that's not the case, I'm not sure how they managed to mess it up that bad. I'll be honest with you. It's really weird. How do you not know that that's not immersive? How do you not know that this is a thing people don't necessarily want in a sandbox game? They don't want you guiding them through it. I'm being honked at, I think. Put that in there with the mods. This with the tools. Hello. Oh. That is a lot of ammo. Thank you. I will put this in the box. I'll put that in the box for now until I run out of those. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They were hyper fixated on ruining everybody's fun. I don't know. I think the problem is... Okay, have you ever played like two different types of games and you get fixated on that one particular type of game? For instance, just a run-of-the-mill thing. Whenever I'm playing Outlast Trials, I get very dependent on my ability to ping things, to tell people what it is I'm talking about, to point at a thing or whatever. And I have played like 5 different games that could actually benefit from having a ping system. Phasmo is one of them. Hey, I can't find the, I don't know, spirit box, and if you just ping it, it's like right there, it's there, it's that thing right there. And this system may be useful in the game, but was it ever intended as a feature in the game? Probably not. I think the issue is they got confused with some of these features that they saw in other games that they enjoyed playing, but they didn't ask themselves, does it actually fit into this game, you know? Ah, thank you, thank you. But over here, I need a repair kit. We know, ping, dead rat, dead rat. Come on, you could have gotten it. What do you mean? I think they spent a lot of time playing RPG games and finding things that they enjoyed about playing it. And having not played a whole lot of 7 days because, I mean, if you're developing a thing, maybe you get tired of playing that particular game and you want to go out and play other things. Well, they hadn't... From everything I ever saw of the Fun Pups, they played like 2 or 3 hours here or 2 or 3 hours there. There was never like in-depth playthroughs. Uber Eats? Oh, really? Was that food? Food from the heavens? Hobo stews? Nice. We need to have a black party over here. If they didn't play but like a couple of hours of their own game because they were kind of tired of it, tired of production, needed a break away from it, then they started playing these RPG games and were like, oh, this system is cool. I like the way it feels. And it probably felt good because it wasn't the same thing that they had had before. You bought the house across the street? Ah, okay, gotcha. And then they were like, you know, what happens if we implement some of these ideas, these RPG ideas, into our sandbox game to try and make it feel like an RPG? Well, they kind of lost track of the... They have a sandbox game, and if you start inserting RPG into it, you change the fundamentals of the game itself. There are some games that can handle having access to both of them, but there's usually different modes of playing it, and that allows them to do both. And they just got fixated on whether or not they could and didn't ask themselves on whether or not they should. Like Fallout 4, you can fast travel while in, say, Borderlands, you can't fast travel to a specific location. Yeah. Or like, I don't know, one of the things that I think is actually better about Fallout 76, which there are pretty on par, except for this one thing. You can fast travel from a location out of a building into another location, whereas I think in Fallout 4 you have to go outside in order to fast travel, right? I don't remember, it's been a long time since I've played Fallout 4. Do you? I don't remember. I just remember having to painstakingly try and find the front door so I could leave. I feel like you couldn't. I might be thinking of something else, though. Or maybe I was painstakingly finding the front door because I was trying to carry home every single piece of loot. Could have been that, too. But looting in that game was fun. Like, you need electronic parts, you need springs, you need this, fans, typewriters, all of this stuff that you get multiple pieces from, or specific types of pieces. You didn't just go out and find springs, electronics, mechanical, those type of things. You can't fast travel while inside buildings, that's what I thought. I thought you had to go outside in order to fast travel around with those. In Fallout 76, you can fast travel from inside of a building, which is an interesting change. I like it. Me personally. Some interiors in Fallout 4 have fast travel, but most don't. That's what I thought. Typically, whenever I went into Fallout 4, Fallout 3, it was like, gather up all of the raw materials and take them to the front of the building, and then go outside, fast travel with the stuff I could carry, then go back into the first container you can get to, and have all of my stuff dropped inside that container, and I would cycle everything out. If it helps, they have a mini event running on Fallout, I think. I'm not sure. Time to go to work for 9 hours because the company I work for thinks we need to open at 11 p.m. in a town that shuts down at 5 p.m. Oh no. Oh no. I can't say anything. I am of the opinion I wish Walmart would stay open 24/7, but I also really enjoyed going to the store at 3 o'clock in the morning and getting my groceries and not having to deal with anybody else in there. And I could just take my time and price match and check weight to price and just generally walk around without having to worry about dodging 500 people. I guess it all depends on what kind of company you have, I guess. I hope you have a great day, though. I hope work turns out that it goes very fast for you. Same, yeah. I do miss the 24-hour cycle with the Walmart and the McDonald's and everything else like that. Not sure why they never came back after 2020 and stuff. I guess it's because they wanted to shut down in order to do some cleaning or something like that, and they just never stopped doing that. We used to go shopping after midnight on purpose to avoid all of the people, yeah. Ty, how you doing? I would intentionally go after that because it's the best time to go when you're not having to worry about dodging 500 people and you could stare at a shelf for like 6 hours, if need be, to try and get price per pound so you can figure out whether or not it's a better deal. Which they figure out for you, but they're a little, sketchy on their math sometimes, especially when a container isn't fully filled. They're a bit sketchy on it. I don't miss working in the 24-hour store, brought all kinds of weird I had to deal with. Opens mouth to catch cheese. Yum. Yeah, it probably does allow the weird to come into the store. I'm sure that happens. We had to deal with a few people. Whenever I worked at fast food restaurants, we'd have a few people that would come in and like sleep in the lobby, basically. And it's like, I'm sorry, you can't sleep here. So, yeah, I understand that that's probably something that they had to deal with as well, and we're happy to not have to deal with it anymore. Let's go check on our water situation. Nice. I do need to get the other mod. Do I have... Yeah, I have the money for it. I probably should go get that mod next time I can. Did you finish all the water? No. We have a McDonald's in town. Our owner of the McDonald's, she has started closing the store whenever oddness has a potential to happen. Like any of the holidays that come up, Halloween, 4th of July, New Year's, any of that stuff. She'll close the store down at 4 p.m. and not open back up to the next time. And this lady is like the people who own Waffle House. If it's nice outside, she's going to open a store because she doesn't want it to close down for anything. Case in point, in 2020, when everything kicked off really bad, they were doing renovations at our store and replacing flooring and all kinds of stuff. Rather than close the entire store down, which would have been safer for employees, workers, general people, she left the drive-thru open, which means dodging around people who were working on the flooring and I think she was doing the AC system and stuff like that. But instead of closing down to make sure both people, like the workers who were working on the stuff and the employees themselves, to make sure all of them were safe, she kept it going. Even with the situation that came up afterwards, instead of just shutting down for a month, she had that stuff going for like 4 months. And it was bad because they were tearing up flooring. There was a dust in the air the whole time. And you can't tell me it didn't wind up in the food. So for her to close down because weirdos come in during the holidays is odd. But she didn't shut down for any of that. Never quite understood. I miss having 24 hours access to supermarkets here. It's such a pain in the neck now, especially on the weekends. Yeah, especially for people who work night shifts. Like if you are a graveyard shift worker. When I was working at... I was supposed to name the place. When I was working out of town, it took me 45 minutes to get to work, and then I worked a graveyard shift, and then I came home, which is another 45 minutes to get home. It was awesome that I did not have to rearrange my sleep schedule to go to the store. I kind of feel like anybody who has to work a graveyard shift, but they have to try and rearrange their sleep schedule in order to go to a grocery store, I think they would appreciate the 24 supermarket cycle, too. Otherwise, you just have to hope you can get there before it closes. Okie dokie. Well, the stream is just about over. I think with the Phasmo news that we have going on, I will probably wind up doing Phasmo tomorrow and Outlast on Friday. I think that's how we're going to do it, because typically whenever we do Phasmo stuff, we cover the information during the stream and then we play some Phasmo. I know I've probably overloaded people on Phasmo recently, but it is a very enjoyable game, and there's a new update coming. I don't know when the date is. I think it says sometime in August, I think. Maybe. We'll figure all that stuff out tomorrow. So if you're interested in either one of those, Phasmophobia or Outlast Trials, those are for the next 2 days at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would be playing both over here on the Twitch and over on my VODs channel on YouTube. It's, the new map is next Monday or Tuesday. Nice. Socials, I don't have one for socials. I've got one for links. It's explanation links. Do you know how much heat is generated by the dew collectors? I was going to add one or two You can add more. They're going to generate heat, but it's the same amount as heat as this guy over here, or this guy over here, or this guy over here. It's going to be basically the same thing. It does not matter. It generates heat just like everything else does. Hello, Chaz. .001% heat is too much for a passive water collector. Yes, it is. It really, really is. If someone wants to put out 20 water collectors or whatever, they should be allowed to put out 20 water collectors. I think most people are probably not going to do that, but if people want to invest that much time into making sure they have tons and tons of water, they should be allowed to have their water collectors. Okay, we are going to see about a redirect for those over on YouTube. We are going to... Hold on. Okay. We have a horde. I don't think this was a screamer horde. I think it's just a regular horde. Okay. What I was saying, guys, is we are going to redirect. Good heavens. Those of you on the YouTubes over to Hell's Janitor, who also plays a lot of 7 Days to Die content. So please stick around for that. Let Hell's Janitor know that you are sent from my channel. Would be amazing. Let them know where you're coming from, where you're going, where you're coming from. All that kind of stuff. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you being here. And I know that I was talking a lot about 7 Days. These are all things I've covered before. But I'm generally trying to still be positive about the game. Just throwing random bits of information out there if the Fun Pimps happen to be watching and want ideas. Who knows? There's the ideas. Wish I had capital invested into 24-hour stores. You'd be a millionaire. Yes, especially if that 24-hour store also had a 24-hour food place that sold like comfort foods or easy to cook foods like hot dogs or something like that. Quick midnight food. Oh yeah, you would make so much money. So much money. Okay, we're gonna head out. Thank you guys over on the YouTubes for being here. I do appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow if you are here for some Phasmo. We'll be doing the first part of the stream is going to be talking update stuff that's coming on later on the week, and then we're going to be playing some regular games. I don't think we're going to be doing any creative games like the no evidence runs that we did the last week. Just like some chill regular stuff. Y'all have a great day. See y'all later. Bye!